first episode of Tijarah Blockast. Today, we're going to be talking about Web 2 and Web 3, the differences that lie between them, and how certain issues with Web 2 are being solved with Web 3. Today, I have with us Arun Kumar, our lead blockchain developer, and he will be joining us on this podcast today. How are you today, Arun?
Thank you, Divi. Thank you. I'm perfect, and I'm glad to be here talking about Web 2 and Web 3.
Yeah, it's going to be so great. So, let's start off with what exactly is Web 3 and what exactly is Web 2 that everybody knows about.
So, like Web 2, you know that Web gave us a capability to connect with people. So Web 2, when Web 2 came up, it gave us the capability of interacting with complex user interfaces, complex applications, create content like Facebook, like Gmail.
Yeah.
You could write an email to anybody sitting here in Malaysia. You can send an email to America.
Yeah.
Or using Facebook, you could share your pictures with all your loved ones across the world. They could comment on it.
Yeah.
But in the same process, what you did is you handed over your data to other companies, centralized companies.
Okay. Yeah.
So they own your data. You pay them for your data, like you pay for Gmail, you pay for Facebook, like certain premium features, and they utilize your data to create advertisements, to create money for them.
So they start selling your data.
You create content, and you don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
They use that content to make money. So Web 3 is changing all that.
Okay.
It is fixing those issues. So now, what you're doing is, as a creator, you own your data, and you get paid for participating in the network by creating that content. Like for social platforms, if I draw a comparison, then there's a platform called Steemit, Steemit, Steemit. So what it does, you can create content there and you get paid in their tokens for creating content.
I see. Okay, so but content developers currently are still getting paid. So how will it be different in Web 3?
Yeah, see, right now, content developers, like for example, say musicians, they, in order to promote their music, they need to go to a centralized distribution house or a publishing company which owns the entire space. Okay. So they depend heavily on those intermediaries, those promote their art.
Yeah.
But with Web 3, they don't need any middleman, they don't need any promotion, any distribution companies. They can directly post their content on a platform like OpenSea, and people can come buy their musical NFTs, buy their art directly from their their listing, and they can get paid directly, and they can also earn royalty on that.
So there's nobody charging a commission in between now in Web 3.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So what are some of the challenges that people face when they're trying to migrate from Web 2 to Web 3 now that you can see?
The biggest challenge I see, Dimi, that even in Web 2, a lot of people still cannot use computers. There are people who face issues using computers. They cannot even order on Amazon.
Yeah.
So, adoption of technology and imparting that knowledge to people, that's the biggest challenge. How fast you can impart this knowledge? Like you are doing this podcast to impart the knowledge to people. You are actually pushing Web 3 further. So this is the biggest challenge. How you can reach out to more people with this information, and how can they adopt this information and migrate to Web 3? That is the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I can see, because a lot of my friends or people that I know, they feel very skeptical when it comes to blockchain. They always confuse Bitcoin with blockchain, XRP with blockchain, Web 3 with blockchain. So can you define what's the difference exactly between Web 3 and blockchain?
So Web 3 is just, like when we say Web 3 is a bigger umbrella, like it encompasses many things. So Web 3 is a mode where user controls his own data. User has a privacy.
Yeah.
He can choose to share the data or not share the data. Like you must have heard about wallets, MetaMask wallet. So MetaMask wallet does not have a name. It is just a string of characters, which cannot be identified by name. So you can choose to remain that wallet. Nobody can identify you physically. So you can choose to keep your privacy. So that's Web 3.
Yeah.
So it's like it encompasses certain norms that it is recreating. So you can own your data, you can own your privacy, You can get paid directly, removing the middleman.
Yep.
So when we talk about Web3, then Web3, there are a lot of technologies coming up in Web3, like in storage, like in content creation, like in payment solutions. So when you talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are more like payment solution. Bitcoin is a payment solution.
Yeah.
Trying to replace the conventional banking system.
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
But other things like you use Dropbox for storing your digital content.
Yes.
So there is like IPFS, InterPlanetary File System, which is trying to replace that Web2 version of Dropbox and bring you a decentralized system of storing your assets.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, when it comes to Web3, there should be some players now in Web3. Do you have any examples of certain applications which are adopted from Web2 but have been improved in Web3? For example, is there such thing as a Web3 Facebook or certain things like that?
I wouldn't say Web3 Facebook. People are trying to create an alternate to Facebook using Web3, but there are certain limitations to that, and that's why you do not see that wide adoption. Like I gave you an example of Steemit, which is trying to recreate that social media, powerhouse on Web3. But I like, we discussed earlier the challenges, because very few people know about Web3.
Yeah.
The adoption is very slow.
I was even surprised to find out about Web2. I thought we were in the same web since the 90s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people still don't understand what is Web2 and Web3, and that's why the adoption is slower. So you do not find, what we say, a parallel to Facebook. But soon there will be platforms which will replace Facebook and become the new Facebook in Web3.
Okay, so you've explained to us that content creators benefit from Web3. Content creators, they remove the middleman, they can get paid directly by the people who like their art. How does Web3 communicate how does it improve governments or financial institutions? Do they need to get involved in Web3? Or can they just stick around with Web2? Because most current systems are on Web2.
When we talk about government institutions or more conventional institutions, they are rigid in structures. Like they are following a certain norm, and Web3 breaks that norm because it brings decentralization. It takes away the power of making a decision by a central authority and distributes it to people who can participate in the network. So that might not be better suited for centralized organization or government organization. So they are still trying to grasp the fact how to bring centralization into Web3, and that's why the adoption in the government sector will still be slower because their structure is rigid and Web3 is very fluid.
So great, let's move on to the next question. Why do you think people should adopt Web3 as fast as possible? Is there any problem with staying with Web2? I'm happy with my Facebook.
Yeah, that question is very generic nowadays. People do ask that. Now the biggest threat Web2 is facing is denial of service. Any day, Google can shut their servers. Facebook can shut their servers. There might be a flood in Arizona where Facebook servers are. The servers are gone, the service is gone. So you will not be able to access your Facebook, download your content, nothing.
So all my birthday photos since I was a kid will be gone?
Gone in a moment, So that's what Web2 is. Anything that you have put online is susceptible to be wiped away.
But it's in my account, right? I own it.
You own it, but you don't own the data servers. You don't have a copy of the data servers on your PC, on your local PC. That's where Web3 comes in.
So in Web3, where's my data stored?
So in Web3, what you can do is you can run a copy of Node. We will delve more into detail of Node in coming podcasts. So what you can do is you can run a copy of Node on your local PC, and your local PC will keep a copy of the whole data of the server. So you can have a copy of the data on your local PC. Even if that shuts down, even if entire world shuts down, you still have a copy on your server, on your personal PC.
That's very good. That's ownership of your own content. That's what everybody will want.
That is the core concept of Web3.
Thank you for joining us today, and if you enjoyed our content, please like, subscribe, and follow our social media. In follow-up episodes, we will be covering more details about blockchain and Web3 and how it's going to change the world. Thanks. See you again.